How ironic the Knicks play the Bucks on Latvia night. Knicks lose to the Bucks. Let's rock. What's going on, people? What's popping with y'all? Saturday night. I know most of you guys should be out partying. You know, I'm sure some of you are out partying. Me? I'm chilling. We'll see what happens when I leave off this stream. You know, probably not gonna be a super long stream because we don't have a whole lot to talk about. We talked about a lot last night, but the Knicks put up a fight and then crumpled, which is to be expected. Should have been expected. The Milwaukee Bucks are fighting for the playoffs, fighting for playoff positioning. And unlike the Miami Heat, they're not tanking for a better playoff position so that they don't have to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know, you say too old for that. Too old for that. I feel you, man. I feel you. At a certain point, that's what it gets like, right? Emmanuel, me too. I thought we had it. You know, I thought we had that one. We played well. And I was about to say, wow, if we win this one, we beat 2 playoff teams in a row using the young kids. I mean, at this point, we just didn't have enough on the bench. We had, 10 players playing? Just didn't have enough firepower out there. Just didn't have enough power. Needed some more. You know, but it is what it is. I'm encouraged, though. The ending of this season is encouraging me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just encouraged because I like the way that they're fighting. And they're not just saying the season is done, I'm going to lay down. Young guys are fighting. They're fighting to prove that they belong in the NBA. Prove that they deserve to have a spot. Trey Burke is fighting to prove that he belongs and that he's a starting point guard. So it's definitely encouraging. It's definitely encouraging to see the Knicks continue to fight, the players continue to fight, and it happens that way. You know, that's how you develop, regardless of what we're doing, winning or losing. That's how you develop a winning culture. You continue to fight. You continue to fight. You continue to play hard. If you're trying to upset some playoff teams, then you're fighting to try to upset playoff teams. Whatever it is, whatever the motivation is. Whatever the motivation is, they're doing that. So, I'm giving a big shout out to them. And as much as we do not like Hornacek, you got to give a shout out to him for keeping the guys motivated somehow, some way, keeping them motivated to continue to play hard down to the end. You know, CP, the artist, he just joined the Tankers Union. I mean, it's only 2 games left now, though. Only 2 games left. So let's recap it. Let's do a quick recap of the game. Siobhan, thank you for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. He said, teams are slowing Burke down after 42 points. Well, one thing is the Knicks are playing against playoff teams, so they have no choice but to plan and scheme for Trey Burke, since he's the starting point guard. They have no choice but to develop some schemes for him. So now we're seeing how he'll respond with schemes developed for him. But he hasn't been that bad, and he wasn't awful tonight. Sometimes you're going to have it, sometimes you're not. Trey Burke. Trey Burke played 30 minutes. He had 8 points. He was 3 for 13 from the field. Sometimes you're going to have some off nights. I can't even complain about it because you're going to have off nights. Every player in the league is going to have off nights. He still had 8 assists. You know, let's see. He's playing the Cavs. And the Cavs, let's take a look at the standings. You know, the Cavs are in a fight with Philadelphia for those playoff positions. And the Cavs will probably come to win. You know, so they're going to be scheming for Trey Burke. Let's see how he responds. You know, Philadelphia's won 13. The Cavs, they've lost 1. I'm pretty sure they want to be in that 3rd spot. You know, because you're playing that 3rd spot. I mean, of course, the top 4 get home court advantage, but if you're playing that 3rd spot, and depending on who you play later on, if you end up playing that 4th seed, then you'll have home court advantage. So, you know, there's a playoff there's a positioning battle here. You know, Milwaukee's in a position battle with Miami and the Wizards. So let's see how Trey Burke responds to the Cavs scheming for him. You know, we'll see how that works out. But back to the recap of the Knicks and Bucks, and how ironic is it that the Knicks play the Bucks on Latvian nights? Only in the NBA does things like that happen, right? You know, only in the NBA. Knicks put up a good fight. Led at half, you know, close game after 3, and then lost it in the 4th quarter. Couldn't put up enough points in the 4th quarter. Couldn't get as many stops in that 4th quarter. You know, our biggest lead was 7. The Bucks' biggest lead was 13. This game reminds me a lot of one of the games I coached today. A little bit different because we were playing against a much older team. You know, a team that had 5, 6 seniors, maybe 7 seniors. You know, and we're all freshmen and sophomore. We led by 2 at the half. We let them go in the beginning of the 2nd half. We let them go on a mini run. They went on like an 8-point run. And then we could never get the game back. We could never pull it back. We tried to make a push towards the end, but we could never pull it back. End up losing the game by 8 points or something like that. You know, but, you know, that's the way it goes, especially when you're playing with a young team. When you're playing with a young team, you're going to have halves that you play well, halves that you don't play well. You have stretches where you look like you can be the top team in the tournament, and the stretches where you look really, really bad. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this game kind of reminds me of that. The Knicks remind me of that. Play well in the first half, lose it in the second half. You know. That's what the Knicks did tonight. Same thing. Knicks shot 44.1% from the field. Shot 21 threes tonight. Again, they're shooting threes, man. They're getting them up. Not as many as they shot the other night, but they shot it at 42.9% clip. It's good. Only shot 11 free throws again. Here we go. Bringing it. We shot 20 whatever free throws, maybe 2 games in a row, was it? Something like that. And now we're back down to 11. We've got to be more aggressive, hitting that basket, creating fouls. The Bucks shot 88.2% from the free throw line. They shot 17 free throws. They shot 40% from 3. They shot 48.4% from the field. Only had 8 turnovers tonight, the Knicks did. We're taking care of that ball. And that's important. 8 turnovers, 30 assists. Gotta like those kind of numbers. Right? Got 7 blocks, 3 steals. Lost a rebounding battle by 5, 48-43. Bucks had 30 assists, 6 steals, 9 blocks. Overall, it was an okay game for the Knicks. You know, the kind of game that you young guys can really learn. You can learn a lot from games like this. You know. So that's the story of the game. And this will probably be a relatively short stream tonight because, like I said, we covered a lot. We talked about a lot last night. You know, there's just not a lot of enticing things going on in the New York Knicks world right now. But give it a couple of weeks. There will be. Give it a couple of weeks. Big shout out to Delano Steele. Thank you for the super chat. French Unicorn, thank you for the super chat. You said mad love. Always mad love to you, Frenchie. You say you're a happy wankster tonight. Give a shout out to Tony Crow, Ishmael Hernandez, CP the artist, BN, Siobhan. Much respect. He wished O'Quinn started all year and hope these are Jeff's last 2 games. Can O'Quinn be your starting center in the NBA? I'm not sure. He's kind of undersized at that center spot. Right? Kind of undersized. He's he plays like a center, but he's more in a power forward's body, at least for today's NBA. It might be kind of hard to start KO at the center spot full time, in my opinion, with the way that with the way that the NBA is today. But you know what? If Cantor opts out and you can re-sign Kyle O'Quinn to a decent, team-friendly, fair contract, why not give it a try and see? I don't know. You know, but I tend to agree with you, CP, the artist, that O'Quinn is small to be a starting center in the NBA. I agree with you. I think he's 6'10", right? I believe. Let's see. Let's check it out. You know, that could be a challenge. Now, he hit a 3 tonight. You know, he's 1 for 2 from 3 tonight. That's a portion of his game if he expands it, and he can hit it. We've seen him hit it before. You know, once maybe this season. If he expands his game to 3, that would definitely help him. Yeah, KP is 6'10", 250 pounds. Now, he is strong. You know, that makes up for some things, but it's very hard to make up for length. Even if you're strong, it's hard to make up for length. And KP is, Kyle O'Quinn is not a long center. Even though he's 6'10", he's still not long. He's not a long 6'10", right? It's not like he has this super long wingspan, right? But some things you can't account for, right? You can't account for that heart. You can't account for the physical way that he plays. Well, you can account for it. You know, he's a physical type of player. He has a lot of heart. Somehow, some way, he gets blocks. You know, he averages 1.2 blocks per game. And lately, he's really been getting blocks at the rim. I guess that's good timing, just good timing, right? You know, BN, you said Sim O'Quinn ain't bad on D at all. On offense, though, he's suspect. He averages 7 points per game, but he does have a good mid-range jumper. Well, you know, he can knock it down. He's not really going to post up and give you a lot of buckets posting up. That's not what he does. You know, he maybe sometimes he goes to the basket. I mean, my inclination is to say that he's not going to be a starter in the NBA. You know, maybe he can fill in a few minutes. You know, he does pass really, really well. He passes really well. Frenchie, yep, he's a really good passer, especially from that high post area. So, you know what? If the reports are true that Kanter really may consider opting out, and he does opt out, then, you know, maybe you give it a go for a season with O'Quinn as the starting center and see how it works out. You never know. You never know. You know, because you just never know how that could work. But we'll have to see what happens there. And, you know, I did read a report that Kanter would consider opting out. CP to R, as you say, he isn't athletic enough. He isn't worth it to me to eat up more cap room. But what if you... Okay, but what if he's on a decent contract? Because I think Kyle O'Quinn is a good he's a good addition to a team. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a really good addition to a team. If you have him on a team-friendly contract. I mean, the issue for the Knicks this year is that we don't want to eat up cap space for 2019. But if Kanter opts out, now you have some space available to make some moves and even pay him, you know, say, listen, you know, we'll pay you for 1 year. Well, you know, you pay him a good amount of money for 1 year or something. I don't know. You know, I'm just thinking out loud right now. You know, but if Kanter opts out, that leaves some options on the table for this summer. But the Knicks aren't going to go crazy in free agency this summer. So anything that they do this summer, I believe, is still going to be a 1 year deal. Unless they find a way to really free up some money so that they can give out a longer term contract. But I think they want to be players in that 2019 free agency. So they're not going to do anything this summer that's going to eat up cap space for 2019. I think they want to have as much as possible. You know, so if Kanter did opt out and they freed up that $18 million, you know, they could choose to in order to try to keep Kyle O'Quinn, if they wanted to, or even Beasley, or whoever it is that they wanted to keep. What they could do is say, we'll give you a hefty contract for 1 year. And then we'll renegotiate something the next year. Some players may agree to that. You know, get that money for 1 year, kind of like JJ Redick in Philadelphia. We'll see if they pay him $20 million next year. You know, they paid him good money for 1 year. And then they'll renegotiate his contract come this summer. You know, so we'll see. Yeah, man, yeah, we do. We have Noah. So we'll see how that's going to work out. If we get a new coach, he could be somebody that the team wants to keep. I doubt that the Knicks stretch him, because if they stretch him, then they're on the book for his contracts. They're on the books for his contract for another 5 years. So I don't think they're going to stretch him. You know, Siobhan, you said make Owen earning $70 million, let Kanter walk and fire Jeff. Well, you know, I guess we'll see. I think everything with Noah is going to depend on the draft. It's going to depend on the coach that comes in. You know what I mean? So, Noah may be somebody that we use. I don't know. He could be, though. Could be. There'll be some coaches that find Noah very, very valuable. I believe so. I know some people say, forget it, Noah's done. But I still believe there are coaches that will see Noah as a valuable commodity. Maybe he's not going to play 30 minutes. Maybe he plays 12, 15 minutes a game. My man, Marty Knicks, thank you for the super chat. You say, shout out to my big bro, French Unicorn, Ralph, Unreal, Vidoy Raza, BN, Tony, Siobhan, Ishmael, You Only Know One Big, and CP the Artist. Big shout to all you guys from Marty Knicks. Big shout out. Yo, I'm going to open up the lines. Want to talk a little bit? Give me a call. Give me a call. You're right, Emmanuel. Nobody's taking Noah's contract. The only way that you're trading that contract is when he's in the last year of that deal. Then maybe somebody would take it. Nobody's taking Joakim Noah's contract. Nobody. I mean, that's an albatross of a contract, and it's going to go down in history as one of the worst contracts ever made. Even though it's not the highest paid, I mean, he played one season, and it wasn't a great season, right? And then didn't do anything at all this season. My man, Isaiah, do me a favor, turn that down in the back, bro.
Sorry, man, watching the game.
There you go. There you go.
What's going on?
What's up with you, man?
Nothing much. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Marty Knicks.
So how do you view the situation with how you view the situation, man, with Kyle Quinn? Can he be a starter in the NBA?
That's a good question. You know what? I'm gonna say he's still a reserve.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a reserve because you know what? I love Kyle Quinn. I love what he brings. He still does certain things that I just don't like as a starter.
Like what?
He gets the pump fake every time. Every time I see a big man pump fake, he always goes for it. And you know he does. Is for the most part he's a good passer. Sometimes when he gets really like cocky, he gets a little lackadaisical. He gets a little loose, and he does unnecessary passes. So I like him more in the secondary role where he can be controlled and more in just like he can do it better in spurts.
Okay.
I like him more like that for him.
All right. We'll see what happens. I think there's going to be a lot that happens this offseason. We'll see if Kyle Quinn comes back. We'll see if Cantor opts out. I doubt it. I think Cantor is just talking junk. Yeah. I doubt that he really opts out. No one's going to pay him $18 million. So I don't see him opting out.
Yeah, I don't see it either, to be honest with you, because I'm not going to lie. I know I wouldn't opt out of $18 million when I know for a fact I'm not going to get $18 million again.
Right, exactly.
I'm not walking out of that. And then plus, I think my man Cleveland said it yesterday in the chat. I mean, when he was talking to you, we still got Noah. we still got Noah, and some people might not like to hear it, but he's still a very good serviceable big man. Okay. So, I mean, worst case, we still have Noah. And honestly, what's worst case if let's just say Cantor walks, who we could get? We could get Nolan Noel for a really cheap deal because I know he recently just got suspended with the Mavericks for
drug violations, right?
Yeah, so I mean, if he cleans up his act, honestly, he probably was weed, probably most likely. We could probably get him on a really good cheap deal because I know the Mavericks are not signing him again. So we could probably get him on a very cheap deal, which I would love because I love what Nolan Noel brings. Besides the drama, besides the outside activities, he brings defense, rebounding, stuff that we need. He's mobile, so He could definitely protect the rim. He's basically a younger version of Kyle O'Quinn, probably minus the passing.
A little bit longer than Kyle O'Quinn, a little bit taller.
Yeah, so I mean, I would like that too, but I mean, like I said, I think we could get him on a really cheap deal. We could probably get him on a 1-year prove-it deal and make sure he's not like a head case and everything. I like that though. I like that. Yeah, I don't see Kyle as really a starter. He's more of a second unit guy.
See, my thing with Joakim Noah, and you know, if whatever coach we have next year is going to make a decision on if they can use Joakim Noah or not. If it's Jeff Hornacek, you already know how that relationship is. Maybe they can patch it up. I don't know. The thing with Joakim Noah that really hurts any team is that he cannot spread the floor, and I think that's important. You know, especially if you want to play an attacking style of game with guards that can attack the basket, you need to find a way to pull that center out on the perimeter and stop that center from clogging up the lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Joakim Noah doesn't do that. I think that's one of the reasons why his game, why he hasn't been viable. Because let's face it, he's like 32 years old, right? He should still be able to. He should still be a valuable guy in this league at 32 years old, right? A guy that's on the decline, or but still valuable. But the game has really, really passed him by. You know, he was so valuable for Chicago because he could play off that high post, and like Chicago with Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, Jimmy Butler, them guys, they played a lot of triangle offense, which is one of the reasons that Phil Jackson wanted to bring Joakim Noah here. Right? They played a lot of triangle. Now they mixed other things into it, but they played a lot of triangle. And Joakim Noah was good out of that high post.
Yo, honestly, man, it is crazy too, because it is so crazy how that's a whole different era. That was only like 5 years ago. But at that time, man, Joakim Noah was the best passer on the Bulls.
Yeah, he was their point guard. He was the guy who ran the offense. The thing is, he's, the game is just kind of passed him by. Well, if you're not playing in that kind of system, then what? But he can play some defense and he can rebound, but on the offensive side, there's not much he can do for you.
It's basically 5-on-4, and nowadays that don't work nowadays. Now,
yeah, I mean you've got to know how to use them. I see somebody, Jose Mendez, said I bet Tibbs would take him. Maybe he would. He probably would, and the reason why is because he would know how to use him. You got to know how to use Joakim. And Tibbs was with him for so long, he would know how to use him.
You know what's crazy about that, though, what he just said about Thibs? Man, the way he's looking for Thibs right now, man, they might. Well, he's going to still be the coach, but I think they're going to definitely let him go as a what is he? Isn't he like the GM for the Timberwolves too?
I forgot. He's something like that. I think
they're going to let him go, man, because they might not even make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, Jimmy Butler did go down, though. That's a big loss. That's a big loss. Jimmy Butler did go down. They were up near that 4th seed for a while.
Definitely.
So, but hey, Isaiah, man, appreciate the call, man.
Send me a real quick.
Go ahead.
You should. I want to know if you definitely go into the draft this year. Because if you going, I live only in Connecticut, so if you going, man, I'm definitely gonna go. Hopefully, set up a little Knicks station, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. I've got to see. I'll let you know. I'll definitely let you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll let you know soon if I'm going or not. I've got to see how the schedule works out. I would really like to though.
Definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll let you know for sure.
Oh, definitely. Let me know for real.
All right, man. Appreciate the call.
That'd be good, man.
All right, peace. Yeah, so those are the things. O'Quinn, Noah, Knicks got some center issues to work out. Who knows? They may even draft a center. My man Marty Knicks, big shout out. He said the Nets won. We could have been 7 worse. Thanks to Wankster. And then Air Force Ups won. He said, love the show. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat, bro. For real. So let's get to tank standings. The Tankster Wankster standings. And right now, oh, wait a minute. You look at the tank standings, the Knicks are in the 9th slot. So they're right here in this 9th spot. Still, what is like one game or whatever behind Brooklyn and Chicago. So, we'll definitely know what's going on within the next few games. We'll see what's happening here. And, not too much to say about it. Except these are the standings. And we have to. That's what we got to do, right? We got to keep tabs off of what's going on and what's happening in the world of the New York Knicks. So, yeah, we got to keep peeking at it to see where they're at. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep peeking at it to see what's popping with it. After these next 2 games with Cleveland, Brooklyn wants to win. They want that draft pick to be as bad as possible since it's going to Cleveland, so it doesn't look too bad on them. There's no reason at all for them to lose games to try to better their standings because they don't have a pick, right? You know what I mean? Because they don't have a pick. But right now, the Knicks are in that 9th spot still. I still feel like this is where we're going to be. But it is possible to move up to that 7th spot, maybe. We'll see where it goes there. You said the Bulls and Nets play each other again, right? They play each other again. Yeah. And so then depending on how that game goes, one of those teams are going to lose, obviously. And then the Knicks, we'll see what happens when they play Cleveland. We'll see what happens when they play Cleveland. Darcy, you said the problem being the Nets are so bad they can't win. But that's why it's a good thing that the Nets and the Bulls are playing each other. The Nets actually have the Celtics pick. Let me scroll down a little bit. Which they have Toronto's pick here at that 29th spot. But Kareem, you say the Nets have the Celtics pick as well? I don't know. I think maybe it's just Toronto's pick. My man, French Unicorn, what's popping, bro? What's up with you, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How are you guys? Been a long time.
Been a minute, man. For real, it's been a minute.
I just work at 5 o'clock. I mean, I open up shop at 7, but I get up at 5 every morning, so it's kind of hard with in the week.
Yeah, I feel you. That's all right. That's tough, man. Getting up at 5 in the morning, they had to, that's
Go and grind, man. Go and grind, make that money.
That's it. You got to grind it out. That's how you make that money, man.
Yes, sir.
So how you feeling about the Knicks in the tank standings, man?
Let me clarify one thing. All I was saying with O'Quinn was I would have preferred to see him start over Cantor this year.
Okay.
Because I just think he would have fit next to KP a little better, blocking shots, making the passes, something that would have helped KP. That's all I meant.
Okay.
Now, next year, I wouldn't mind if both of them go,
Mm-hmm.
I think KP's going to move to the center. I think after this injury.
You think so? And you know what? That could be real. He could move to the center spot because, with the injury, he's going to pick up some weight. He's going to have to pick up some weight. Hopefully he builds more muscle, but he may not be as mobile. You know what I mean? And it may be time for him to move to that center spot.
He might be reluctant to run as much too because of the injury. You don't know how it plays out mentally for him for a little while.
Exactly.
Back playing like more in the post and at least on D, be in the post instead of running out to 3, and that's just my opinion. And if that's the case, then slide Cornette over to the 4 and then worry about getting a wing.
Mm-hmm.
More than any, I think our most important need is an athletic wing that could get up and down the floor.
Yeah, for sure.
More than anything else,
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to see how KP is going to respond and what kind of player he becomes after this, because he, mentally, like you're saying, mentally, it's going to change the way he thinks. I think he's going to want to win more, obviously. He's going to want to win because he sees his career like, I could lose it at any time. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to want to win. And I think he may get a different idea on what his position is in the NBA. He may be afraid to be a high flyer. Or he may settle and say, you know what, I need to calm my game down and be a little more grounded. Who knows? If Derrick Rose would have grounded his game a little bit, he might have protected his knees a little bit better. Now, KP,
you never know who the next coach is, and the coach might say, "Hey, KP, it might be the best for you to go to the 5," and
right,
because he in today's NBA as the 5, a D and 3 5. I mean, I like him at the 5 anyway.
I mean, if KP was strong enough to play the 5, and he could really post up and demand his position and not get pushed around down there, and he was still athletic enough to go out on the wing, pull it from 3, I mean, he would. I mean, geez, got no one was
the best center in the NBA.
Yeah,
but really, who posts up anymore? Dwight Howard. That's probably the only post-up center you have in the NBA.
Joel Embiid posts up.
Yeah, Joel, and then maybe a little bit of Cat too.
Yeah, Cat. But those guys can still, not Dwight Howard, but Joel Embiid and Cat. They can still take it out and shoot the 3.
Yep, and run the floor.
Yeah.
Rarities, though. They're not. I think KP's capable of all that, too, though. I think if you put him at the 5, he could do all those things.
I think he can, too.
And his progression, as far as having people push him out, we've seen a major, major upgrade in that department just in this year alone.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to come back stronger. He's going to work that leg out and work it out. I know I've been through that injury, so
yeah.
Body working out right now.
Right. Yeah, he's going to come back stronger, and hopefully he strengthens that lower body. And, AD, Mighty Knicks, AD posts up and he can pull from 3, too.
Oh, yeah.
But he's going to, build that lower body, I think, so that he can come back and be stronger in the post, because that's that's a lot. That lower body strength is a lot, and you need that lower body strength in order to be able to demand your position down there.
Yeah. If they could push you off your legs, then they own you in the post. So
yeah, right.
Be able to back low.
Yeah. So
I'm not a wankster. I want to win. I don't care if we win the last 2 games. I want to win. I want to see these kids do good. Yep. I thought yesterday winning with Cornette and Dotson, celebrating in Madison Square Garden. I think that's the things these kids need to see, not to lose.
Exactly. And you want to end the season on a positive note. You know what I'm saying? End the season on a positive note. Try to have some, some hope coming off the end of the season, and play well. You really want to play well. Cleveland right now is playing against. They're fighting for playoff position, and you want to come out and play well against Cleveland.
Both games going into the playoffs and have them losing. I want to see LeBron get first round. I definitely want to see them beat the Cavs. I know people. Yeah. People are gonna be like, "Man, what are y'all doing?
the Knicks need to try to get up to that 7 spots. I want to see them beat the Cavs.
Let me ask you this, though. Getting the 7th spot guarantees us what? Nothing. I mean, the guy that goes at 7 could be better than the guy that goes at 1. You don't.
I mean,
that's proof. Yeah.
Between 7 and 9, in my opinion, there's not going to be much difference. I guess the difference, though, is that at 7, you can have your choice. So if you want the guy that could be at 9, if you want, you can have your choice. And your chances of getting the first pick go from like 1.5 to 4 point something. But, to me, it is what it is. I'm cool with the 9th pick.
I'm a gambler, man. All those numbers, it's still 1 out of every so chances you're going to jump up, and we're due. So even, I don't know, I'd rather see us win than worry about what position we fall at. We're going to draft, and because you never know. We could win the draft. We could be first. We could be second. We could be third. We could be fourth. You never know.
And look, let me tell you something. With our luck, with the way things go in the world of the New York Knicks, we'll get that 7th spot. And then the 9th pick will jump all the way up to 1st. That's the way it goes. That's the way things go with the Knicks, man.
I think that we're on the come up, though. I know we had a really bad year this year, but we still have KP. I know a lot of Frank haters, but I love what Frank did for his first year. I like Dotson's game. Cornette's coming around. Troy. I think that it's not a total loss. We got a nice new GM that's not irrational like that whole Phil Jackson thing, which I was a big fan of Phil Jackson as a coach, by the way, but he just was too much chaos.
When he first
Melo gone, no more chaos on the Melo front either.
When Phil Jackson first came, I was excited. I'm not gonna lie, I was excited. I thought that Phil Jackson was gonna be able to bring that magic with him.
I was right there with you. I mean, former Knick. 11-time ring winner, of course. That's what I thought too. I thought that finally, but he's too high profile. We can't afford that in New York because the media will eat you up.
Yeah,
everything he said was like in the papers for 12 straight days.
Yeah.
He said that Melo held the ball for 2 seconds, and that became national news.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Stuff kills him. Yeah.
And that's what it was crazy. You would think that Phil Jackson would have known how to play the media better. You know what I mean?
Picked on his players.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson's always picked on he picked on Michael, he picked on Kobe, he picked on Shaq. Yeah. I just think Melo wasn't that character to deal with the picking, and that became a big deal. He didn't use it for motivation to say, hey, you know what? He said that I'm not going to stick on the ball no more. I'm going to show him. But instead, he took it personal. It became this whole big, is it Melo? Is it Phil? 2 prima donnas. Yeah. And that's every time.
Right. But I think I think the way he would pick on his players, I think it goes over better if you're the coach.
Oh, yeah. Granted, I give you that, too.
Than being the GM. You know what I'm saying? If you're the coach, you can do some things like that because you get to talk to the players and do some other things. As a GM, because when you're the coach, you're in practice. So you see everything that's happening in practice. And you're coaching different things. So when you say something, the player knows if you're telling the truth or not. Listen, the player knows what's up. So
Phil was at every practice, though. But I get what you're saying. You don't have you're not there with the player to tell him, hey, you know what, I was just trying to motivate you. Or you don't have that. Yeah, you don't know where he's coming from, and he probably was in the locker rooms talking to Shaq and Kobe and joking around, and they knew him better.
Exactly.
I'll tell you one thing. The second go-around with Kobe, though, he begged to have Phil back. When he had Paul Gasol and them, he was like, please give me Phil. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but it's a different business going from the coach to being the GM. And that's why I was surprised that Phil didn't understand how to manage that media a little bit better, know what to say, know what to say, know what not to say.
Maybe he was retired too, $75 million.
Yeah,
well, let me island somewhere with my wifey.
But he left us with a couple of guys, so KP, Frank, the guys that played well the other night, Luke, Damian Dotson. Those are his guys.
He signed Kylo Quinn for a really good contract too. You got to give him
signed Kylo Quinn. Yep. So
No, I'm not knocking Phil totally. I'm just saying that it's nice to have a GM that is quiet. That it's not about him.
Exactly. I'm with you 100%. It's nice to have a GM that can just, lay back, do his job, and he's got a relationship and respect throughout the league as being a GM and knowing what he's doing. With Phil Jackson, I think other teams thought. I think it was like polar opposites. It was like magnets demagnetizing or something. Teams thought with Phil Jackson, we're gonna be able to fleece this guy because he doesn't know what he's doing. And then Phil Jackson was so much like, I'm not gonna let anybody fleece me, that sometimes we didn't get as much for players as we could have.
Yeah. Anyway, he gave away everybody when he first came. He gave away Shumpert. He gave away J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
He just let other people walk. He was ready to let Melo go, too. He was like, I'll just get him off the team. At least Perry got something back.
That's exactly. He got some good stuff back. Yeah. So. But, hey, French, man, I thank you for the call.
Yeah, man, it was good hearing you guys. You're happy tonight, King Wangster. I know you're happy. Man, shout out to the rest of the chat. Love you guys. Good talking to you guys again. And the next game, I'll call in again.
All right, for sure, man. You got to get up 5 o'clock
every morning. I own a little cafe, and I open up shop every morning at 7 o'clock. So I go shopping in the mornings, and then I start doing my little prep and stuff. But every day, 5 days. Yeah.
Hey, you got to hit me up and let me know where the cafe is. So next time I'm back up in New York, I can stop through.
Oh, no, I'm on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and it's inside an Offseason building. Yeah, I'm on the
hold up. Wait a minute. You're on the Eastern Shore?
Yeah, Salisbury, Maryland.
Yeah, I mean, I go down to the Eastern Shore often. As a matter of fact, we play my AAU team. We play, I don't go often, but I go down to the Eastern Shore a lot. I mean, I'm near D.C., so I'm definitely going to stop through.
I come over to that area all the time. My little brother lives in Bethesda. He runs a player media group out there. I don't know. I know you're in the stuff, and he works with them. And I come over to that area all the time. But if you ever come through, you got my Facebook. You have my Skype. Holla at me, man.
I'm with you, man. Yeah, we're going to have to link up because we're in the same area for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should do something for the draft, too, man. When they do the draft, maybe we should go all get together around that time. That'd be great.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, we talk more.
All right, man. All right, later.
Down.
CP, you on the call?
Yeah.
What's going on, man? So we switched right over. We switched right over from French Unicorn to you. What's popping, bro?
Yeah, what were you saying last night about my dime piece?
Yeah, man. I wasn't saying about your dime piece. I was just saying you gotta, I was just saying you gotta watch out about for the dime pieces, man. Because some of them will get you.
Look, man, they come in all shapes and sizes, man. Some of them are doctors, lawyers, dental assistants. You just gotta take your poison, man.
Sometimes you gotta pick your poison. Sometimes you gotta be careful though.
Of course, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with the 5 pieces too.
You gotta be careful with the dime because let's put it like this, a dime piece, she knows that she's a dime piece or not.
Yeah.
Right. And so she knows, she can get whatever you want. So you got to get lucky.
Got to deal with all that drama. Yeah.
You got to get lucky and get you a dime piece that's that's humble and cool and not with all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're around. They're around.
You know what? It's always good for the moment. All right, man.
Yeah.
Yo, so yeah, man. I had to tell you, man. I joined the Tanksters Union.
I see that.
Proud member right now. Yeah, man.
I see that.
You want to know why? You ever watched Breaking Bad?
Nah, I never watched it.
You never watched Breaking Bad? All right, there was this one scene where the main character, he was told no half measures. I was like, you know what? Why go with half measures? Go all in. So I said to myself, well, might as well just go all in and embrace the thing.
And just embrace it, huh?
I just embraced it, man. Yeah, all right, but all seriousness, it's like, you're talking about KO and I appreciate what he did for the Knicks. I like his character, whatever. But my thing with KO is that I feel like we can find a younger player who has just a tad bit more athleticism and skill set in like the draft or maybe the G League, because they're out there. You know what I'm saying? Like what we found, like how we found with what was that small forward's name that we picked up from the G League? Troy Williams. You mean to tell me that there isn't like maybe a 6'11" type, Troy Williams, with some athletic ability that could probably take KO's, place. You know what I'm saying? I mean, go ahead.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Right.
I mean,
my thing is like, I'm ready for the Knicks to do like what Cleveland did. Like, because we have so many of the same players from the last 3 or 4 years. We had KO on the team, Courtney Lee, Noah, and I'm missing somebody else. Oh, Lance Thomas.
Right.
And those 4 players, what have they resulted in a difference for the Knicks? Absolutely nothing.
No, they have not.
Huh?
I said no. I'm just saying no. They haven't.
Right.
But in those guys' defense, those guys are role players. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm glad you said that. You're paying $12 million to role player Courtney Lee. You're paying $4 million to role player KO. You're paying $6 million a year to role player Lance Thomas. So my thing is like, why are we breaking the bank for role players that are not going to get us? And I trust me when I say I appreciate the guy's character. I appreciate their locker room guys, anything like that. But I'm ready to move on. I'm ready as a Knicks fan.
So basically,
go ahead.
So you ready to move on from all that Phil Jackson stink and all that stuff?
Oh yeah,
right?
Oh yeah.
Ready to move on from all that, getting them guys out of there, clean house. Let's start fresh. But you know, what? I mean, of course, KP, Frank. I mean, they were Phil Jackson picks, but you can't.
Oh, they're fine.
You can't move on from them.
No. I'm fine. I'm fine with them. You know what I'm saying? But that era, plus the fact that they are going up in age, you know what I'm saying? It's time to turn the page on. You know what I'm saying?
And I get that.
No, go ahead.
No, I just said I get that.
Yeah, maybe we can sign up for a playoff team. You know what I'm saying? That need a couple of pieces. Cause I think all of them will fit well, like on some type of playoff team. Yeah. Maybe we can get some picks. Something. I think. Going into next year, I'm like thinking to myself, like, as we arguing over, we're discussing, like, what's right for the team. It's like, if we keep these players, we're gonna just have the same results. And what's the definition of insanity? Doing something over and over and over again.
I mean, I think for next year, we're gonna have the same players. For next year, maybe not Courtney Lee, but I think that we're gonna have a lot of the same players for next year. because we're looking to get into that. We're looking towards that 2019 draft year. You know, so now Kylo Quinn maybe won't be here. Lance Thomas, I think, is going to be here. Courtney Lee, maybe not. Maybe they trade Courtney Lee and try to get something for him, try to get him to a championship contending team. Joakim Noah's going to be here. I think Cantor's going to be here because as much as, you know, whatever he's talking about, I think he's going to opt into that $18 million because no one's going to pay him more than that. He'd be stupid to opt out. Right. So I think those guys are going to be here. Maybe Beasley. I don't know about Beasley. Probably not Jarrett Jack. Moutier is going to be here. Ron Baker is probably going to be here. I mean, at least until next year. Well, I think 2019, that summer of 2019, that is when we're going to be looking at a significant turnover in roster.
So we're looking at the lottery next year again.
Most likely looking at the lottery next year again, unless you know something breaks, something happens, and they're able to pull off some kind of move.
I don't think Scott Perry is gonna go into next year with the same team, knowing that KP is going to, you know, negotiate his extension with the same team. I think he's going to have to put some type of big trades that's going to look presentable to KP. You know what I mean? And plus, I think that you can't, in New York, you can't go through, what is it? I lost count. What are we at? We're going to be in like our fifth below 500 season?
Fourth below, fourth season in a row with 50+ losses.
Okay, so next year would probably most likely be number 5, right?
Probably be number 5, yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that in New York. I don't think they're going to risk their jobs to keep this team together. I just don't.
But
and plus, the
only reason why I think that they keep them together for 18-19 is because they're preparing for the 2019 summer. Because so many of these guys, like Cantor, no matter even if he opts in, his contract is done. You're still gonna have Joakim Noah, Courtney Lee. That summer, even if he does play next year, then he'll be on he'll have 1 year left on his contract, and so that makes him a lot more tradable. Because people who are looking up to free up money can say, like, someone who has a contract, a team that has a player on a contract to 2021 might, want to, trade for Courtney Lee, and if that's a player that the Knicks think can be valuable, who knows? I don't know. Yeah. But he could be a trade chip then, maybe in a 3-way. Lance Thomas, the same thing in 2019. He has 1 year left, so he could be a trade chip. So I think that, those guys will be there. And they'll be looking at 2019. They'll be looking at that summer of 2019 when they really can free up a little bit of money. Because Ron Baker comes off the books. Kylo Quinn. Because Ron Baker's going to opt into his contract. He has an opt-out clause. He's going to opt in because he's not going to get $4.5 million anyplace else. Kylo Quinn might be gone. Emmanuel Moutier, after that summer, you can give him a qualifying offer, or you can choose not to. So then that's another $5.7 million that could come off the books.
Gotcha.
So they can have, the Knicks could, they could have, if Moutier comes off the books for that summer, Cantor comes off the books. That's $24-25 million right there. Ron Baker is off the books. That's another $30 million. And the Knicks could have about $30 million to play with in this summer of 2019. So I think that they have an eye towards 2019.
Gotcha.
And I think anything that they do in between then, if they really you know, if they do anything that's going to eat into that 2019 cap space, it's going to be somebody that's really worthwhile that they know that they're going to that they're going to plan to have around for a while, and that's going to be a game changer.
Like a dime piece?
Yeah, but someone that they know is going to be able to stick around.
I'm sick of these
not
ugly
gonna bring
chicks,
the drama, man.
All right, man. Let me let you go.
All right, appreciate the call, bro.
All right, later.
All right, for sure. My man, CP the artist. I'm gonna get down to ATL this year and check him too. Let's talk about my man Dame Dot. Had a nice follow-up. To his game. Dame Dot had, what did he have? I think he had 11 points, couple rebounds, couple of assists. He had a very nice follow-up, and I'm interested to see what he does in the next 2 games. You know, I want to. Somebody on the call the other day said that Tim Hardaway's injury was a blessing, and it may turn out to be that way. You know what I'm saying? May turn out to be that way. Because Dame Dot is, you know, hopefully he can prove that he's going to be an NBA player. My man Ron Cleveland on the line. What's popping, bro? What's up with you?
Man, let me turn this TV off, man. I don't want no echo.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to disturb the chat. The Tankster Wanksters, where y'all at? What's up? How y'all doing? You know, hey, Simeon, man, watching this game tonight. You know, all I kept envisioning, man. I said, I wish we would have ran with the youth sooner, man.
Yeah.
I just really wondered, because really, when you look at our record, it's really not indicative of no direction of what the team really could have been. You know what I mean? Like, when you don't have no direction, you don't know really what your record really would have looked like had you played the players that should have been playing. And I think about Dotson, really. That kid, man, and I saw him tonight, that one alley-oop he caught.
Uh-huh.
And I remember we was talking last night about, you know, his athleticism, you know, wondering about that. And to me, his athleticism is right on par with Tim Hardaway's. But the thing I love about him is defensively, the guy gets after it. And his shots he take is within the flow of the game. He don't take ill-advised shots. And he's always finding himself around the ball, and he's always moving. He's always moving. And I think really, Frank, man, looking at Frank is getting stronger. You can see it in his game. I love the way he's looking. You know what I mean? And just looking at, man, what Jeff been doing all season, man, I just really think, you know, the stuff he's doing right now is really just showing why he's got to go. You know, the inconsistencies in the lineups. And I really wish when Scott Perry and them guys that took over, I really wish they would have shipped him right then too. I mean, I understand, but trying to be fair, man. But if you're going to clean house with Phil Jackson and get that stench up out of there, man, you don't leave trash in the house if you're trying to clean it up.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you.
Just looking at this, what's going to happen. I know I was looking at something, and they were talking about Jabari Parker, how his time in Milwaukee, he already know that it's possibly the way he's talking, like he's not going to be back. Because it's too much tied up the direction of the team or what they're doing after he got hurt and everything, and how Giannis have taken that leap. He's really expendable, and I can see the Knicks going after a player like him, and it won't hurt. You know, especially if you're taking chances on Moutier. As far as I'm concerned, they can cut Moutier right now. I've seen enough for him. He is not. The guy got the physical tools, but his game is severely lacking. You know them guys you played with, Simeon, man. You know everybody played with them type players. You know they got all the physical gifts, but they just don't have the ability to finish. They don't have that killer instinct, and he don't have it. He just don't have it. I don't see where 2 or 3 years from now, he's going to be any better than what we're seeing right now.
And I'm gonna tell you, with Emmanuel Mudiay, I think it was opportunistic, right? Because one, you got a chance to see what he can do. I don't think that they believed that Dougie Fresh was going to be in the long-term plans. right? And you was going to have to decide whether or not to pay Dougie Fresh this year. I think that was one thing. You was going to have to because Doug McDermott rookie contract was up. You was going to have to do something with him, and then there was a cap hold with Doug McDermott. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that played into it. And then I think the trade for Moutier was, let's try him out, and if it doesn't work, it helps us free up almost $5 million for 2019. I think that's a big part of it, because all they have to do is say, we're not going to give you a qualifying offer, and he's gone. He's free.
Oh, yeah.
And then they free up the money. So I think that was part of their plans with Emmanuel Moutier. You know, we'll give this kid a tryout. We'll see how it works. And if it doesn't work in 2019, we let him go, and we freed up another $5 million.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad look to make that move, but I've seen enough of his game, even now, and even when he was in Denver, to know that his arc, he's already there. He's at the ceiling. It's not going to get any better. You know what I mean? And just looking at what the Knicks are doing, I just want them guys to just go ahead and really start focusing on the future. Don't bother with LeBron.
No,
you know what I mean?
for sure.
Just go ahead and stick with the plan, whatever their plan is, because one thing I'm noticing, they're not really saying much of what their plan is. Everybody keeps saying 2019. Wait, my mama had a saying, man, wait, sink the ship. You know what I mean? We wait on
like
2019. 2019, you know what I mean? We've done that kind of stuff too. Waiting on a particular year. Man, we need to get busy. We need to get busy. We need to start making some moves. We need to start making some moves. I would like to get Jabari Parker, and on the coaching front, to me, is only one answer. There's one answer. I don't want Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers has been contaminated. He done been in the front office. So he's going to think he know more than what the people in the front office know.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Don't touch him. Stay away from him. Mark Jackson is the obvious coach, and for good reasons. Whatever went on in Golden State, I'm not concerned with why he's not there. I know he's a good coach. And the thing is whatever went on where he lost his job with, their front office knows why, and he knows why. He's definitely going to be better for the situation, whatever took place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you go get Mark Jackson. He'll galvanize the troops. He'll galvanize the fan base. The New Yorkers will have somebody that really know the pulse of the city, know the franchise. We don't have nobody that connects to our franchise. You look at all these other teams, they got somebody that connect with their franchise from the past. We don't have nobody.
Okay. We'll see how that goes. And for the record, Jabari Parker, he makes this year he's making 6.7, almost 6.8 million. Next year he makes just about 7.4 million. Well, he doesn't make it. The Bucks need to give him a qualifying offer. So we'll see if the Bucks give him a qualifying offer or not. So, you know, the proof of being the pudding right there. If they decide not to give him a qualifying offer, then you know that man is expendable.
Oh yeah, we can trade Lee and trade old Thomas. Send both of them guys over there to get Jabari Parker.
I mean, you got to make the money work. If you send them two, that means you sending about $19 million. That means you got to bring $19 million back.
Yeah, you got to take somebody back.
And if the best player in the trade is going to be Jabari Parker, then that means they're going to want something a little bit more. They're going to want something to benefit them. So that means we got to give them something to get Jabari Parker too. You know.
Yeah, I hear you on that, but it's time, man. It's time. We've been handing it. Black is time. Knicks fan base, y'all know what time it is. And Simeon, man, keep doing what you're doing. And y'all know my phrase, man, the Knicks will be back.
All right, that's it. The Knicks will be back. No
right,
doubt,
man.
for sure. Appreciate the call, Ron. For sure. So you heard my man Ron talk about Frank a little bit. He said, Frank is getting stronger. And, I think that's definitely confirmed. Jeff Hornacek said that Frank picked up 8 pounds over the course of the season. That's usually unusual for players to pick up pounds over the season. Usually over the season, guys lose a little bit of weight. So what that means is they really truly approached this year with Frank as a developmental year, right? Because usually during the season, you're not lifting as many weights, because you want to stay, you got to stay limber to play and things and flexible. So you're not lifting as many weights. If that was Ronald Cleveland that called in. If Frank picked up 8 pounds over the course of the season, that means that Frank was lifting heavy over the course of the season. They truly approached this as a developmental year. And then we wonder why maybe he can't shoot as well. That plays a lot into it. In order for Frank to pick up 8 pounds, and I'm assuming that that's 8 pounds of muscle, not 8 pounds of fat, I think that explains a little bit about his shooting, in my opinion, from my experience. You go out and you lift weights and you're really hitting the weights. When you get out there, your shot, it takes a little bit time to get used to the ball, right? When you're shooting. If he was lifting that heavy throughout the course of the season, then we could see why there would be nights when, his shot was really, really bad. Really, really off. And we do see him getting stronger throughout the season, which means they really looked at Frank and said, we're not going to approach the regular season with him the way that we would approach any other veteran. We are really going to develop this kid. Put him on a weight training program throughout the season. Picked up 8 pounds. I'm assuming 8 pounds of muscle throughout the season. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. And I think that explains a lot about him too. As we've seen the way that he played throughout the season. And now he probably can, we see him attacking the basket a little bit better. And though, he's probably feeling stronger, he can feel those 8 pounds and how it can affect the way that he goes to the basket. So I think that says a lot. And that means a lot. And, if he picked up 8 pounds from the course of, I guess you want to say October to now, it's October, November, December, January, February, March, April, that's 7 months. And then, we got another 7 months or 5 months until the season starts, until they're back at training camp, where he can pick up another 5 to 8 pounds. If he can pick up another 5 to 8 pounds of muscle, but maintain his flexibility and his athleticism, man, we could be looking at something good from Frank for next year. Because that means he's picking up a lot of strength. And from what Jeff Hornacek in this article that I read from the New York Post, they're really looking at getting Frank playing, letting Frank play in some pickup games throughout the season. Throughout the offseason in New York and LA. And, to help him, bring that game along and develop that aggressiveness. That's something that we talked about early in the season, is that earlier this year, when we were talking about Frank and his offseason regimen, that Frank needs to play pickup games. He needs to get out in the street and play some ball. And so I'm gonna show this article real fast about Frank. All right. So you see it here by Mark Berman from the New York Post. Frank Ntilikina's strength training starting to pay dividends. All right. So they say he's put on good weight. I don't see where it says 8 pounds, but I think Jeff Hornacek says it, that he picks up 8 pounds. He says it somewhere in here, but yeah, he picked up like 8 pounds. They said they want Frank to go back to France for a little bit, because it's been a long season, and then come back, and then they want to find places where he can go play a lot of games, pick up games in New York, and if guys are out in LA, they try to get him out there. You know, I think that's a very good offseason regimen and offseason plan for Frank. You know, and I'm excited to see, as you see here, Ntilikina now says he'll only go briefly. The Knicks want him to play in the summer, play in the summer league in Las Vegas. And I'm anxious to see him come back and play in that summer league in Las Vegas. You know, so it's a good offseason plan for Ntilikina, I think. And if he can pick up, you know, another 5 to 8 pounds, you know, that's really good. That's really good. Dwight Young, yeah, you said that's why Frank's shot is erratic. New muscle. And that it will always. It'll make you erratic. You know what I'm saying? Because you're getting used to new strength, new power in your shot and all those type of things. You got to get used to it. You know, and if they were having them on such a heavy weightlifting plan over the course of the season, it'll happen. You know, it'll happen that the shot is erratic. I want to see him over the summer, man. He needs to be getting up. What's that old saying? 1,000 shots a day. He needs to be getting them 1,000 shots a day up. And I'm pretty sure he will. I feel like he will. You know what I mean? I feel like he will. So big up to Frank. That says something about our development team too. That maybe we have a different type of developmental team. Right? You know, we've all always, you know, we harp on that the Knicks don't have a team. We don't develop players. You know, maybe we do have, maybe we do have a group of guys that can develop players. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we do have a group of guys. Because it's clear that they looked at Frank as, you know, we're going to let him play, but we're not looking at him to produce anything for us. We're going to develop his body. We're going to take this year and actually develop his body. That's something that they couldn't do with KP. Because when KP was here, we had Melo. And we were looking to win, really, really win right now. You know what I'm saying? They were really looking to win right now. And so you couldn't do that with KP. They had to try to get as much out of KP as possible. This year, they really weren't looking. They knew it was a developmental season. They weren't expecting much from Frank. So maybe this explains and gives us a little glimpse as to why they continue to bring in point guards. Right? Because we all kept asking, why are you bringing in Moutier? Why are you bringing Trey Burke to the G League? Why are you bringing in, why did we bring in Jared Jack? And maybe that, it's a little bit clearer now. They looked at Frank and said, we're going to get some pounds on this kid, right? And we're going to, we're really just going to put him into a developmental mode throughout the season. It's going to be all development. So, maybe that's where it was. Jamal Stevenson, you say KP was nice off the top. You're right. He was nice off the top. But they also needed KP to be, when he first came in and they seen that he could produce, I think, I don't know if they even had a developmental plan back then, but I think that when they seen that he can produce, they said, oh, wow, this speeds us along. We now got to have a guy that we can put next to Melo. And so instead of taking some time and doing what it seems like they've done with Frank and letting him actually develop his body throughout the course of the season, they said, no, KP, you can develop your body in the summer. We need you to give us everything you can now because we're trying to win. With Frank, it seems like it's kind of like, we're not trying to really win now. We don't need you we don't need you to be a big piece of our winning, right? Winning. This is the beginning of the season. We need you. We need to develop your body. We need to develop your frame. And, it looks like maybe that's what they did. So, let's see how this goes. Let's see how Frank comes back next year. I'm really anxious to see how Frank is going to come back and see him over the course of the season. Over the course of the off season. After he goes back to France, comes back and plays in some pickup games and things. It's going to be exciting. And I seen somebody say I should train Frank. I would love to train Frank. Trust, I would enjoy it. It would be, that would be a dream come true for real. Train him over the summer. That'd be great. But most likely it's not going to happen. But yeah, big shout out to the Knicks developmental team for that. I think, big shout out to the developmental team, and hopefully it works, and we'll see Frank come back with a bigger, better body next year, and maybe we get lucky and the kid grows another inch. You never know. You never know. But before I get out of here, I want to discuss one more thing. The Knicks will be doing exit meetings next week. And, in our next couple of shows, we're going to talk about players. And we're going to do a keep them or dump them. Talk about who the Knicks should keep, who they should let go, so on. But, of course, those aren't going to be my last shows. I'm going to be on all summer long. I'm going to follow the playoffs. So, in our next shows, we're going to pick a team to follow in the first round. Right, and we'll follow that team, and we're gonna pick one team. We'll talk about all the teams, but we'll pick one team because I can't be on every night. So we'll pick a team, and then we'll follow them, and we'll come on after the games of those teams. And of course, we'll talk about the Knicks, and we'll talk about what's going on in the playoffs and stuff like that. All right, and we'll bring up storylines. There'll be plenty of storylines. There's always storylines with the New York Knicks. But, you see that? I forgot where I'm at. Oh, exit meetings. Yeah. Will the players defend or blame Jeff Hornacek? All right. Will they blame him or defend him? We see Courtney Lee defended him. Right? He said, look at injuries to Hardaway, injuries to KP. How can you blame Jeff Hornacek? So he defended him. What do you think the players are going to do? Right? Do the players want Jeff Hornacek back? I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think that Jeff Hornacek has built that kind of relationship with the players. With all of the players. Maybe there's a few players. Right? And, you notice a few players like Courtney Lee, who it was hard to get them off the floor when they went to the youth movement, right? Maybe those are some of his favorites. And so, yeah, they're going to come out and defend him. But Kylo Quinn might not defend him. They didn't always seem to have the best relationship. Jeff Hornacek might not. Joakim Noah's not going to defend him. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are the players going to blame Jeff Hornacek for the season in these exit interviews, or will they defend Jeff Hornacek? We'll definitely hear about it, and we'll, some things will come out for sure. Some things will come out. Ralph Unreal, for sure. I'm definitely going to do live. I'm going to be doing live streams even throughout the playoffs, and then when we get to throughout the playoffs, and then when we get to the draft, and then after the draft, and all that stuff, I'm going to be on. We're going to be talking about the Knicks and talking about things happening in the NBA, and we'll talk some Giants as well. So I'm definitely going to be on, without a doubt. That's why when we choose a team to follow, we'll follow that team. We'll get on. We'll talk a little bit about that team in the playoffs, and then we'll talk about the Knicks. But it's something to watch for when the Knicks have their exit meetings on whether or not they defend Jeff Hornacek or if they or not. Pick OKC. I was thinking about OKC just because they have Melo, But OKC got to get in the playoffs. They won tonight. They won tonight. If they didn't win tonight, then there was a chance that, you know, they would have been, if they didn't win tonight, they didn't beat Houston tonight, they would have been out of the playoffs for the time being. They would have been in that 9th spot. You know what I mean? And they would have had to, you know, they would have had to claw their way back in. But they won tonight, so they did themselves a favor. They're still in that. They're still in. Let's see. Let's check out the standings. So they won tonight. So OKC is in that 7th spot with 2 games left to the season. 2 games left. I mean, and it's possible. I don't know what their record is against these other teams. Man, it's possible they could move all the way up to that 4th seed, for real. You know, but I'll probably put out a poll. I'll pick 4 teams or something like that and say which one do you want to follow. OKC will definitely be in there, and then we'll pick a team to follow. OKC might be it because they got Melo. They got a recent former Knick. You know, and then you also got Ray Felton on the team, another former Knick. So maybe that's a good squad to follow. And they wear orange and blue. So, hey, maybe that'll be who it is. You know. But Philly, some people say Philly. Philly is definitely going to be one that that I have on the list. And then whatever team you guys choose, that'll be who we follow. You know, and maybe we get lucky and, you know, we'll have 2 teams that play on the same nights or something like that. And we can follow them. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. But we'll choose a team to follow, and we'll follow them throughout the playoffs. And then if they get kicked out, we'll choose another team to follow. You know, so we can keep this thing going. Yeah. A lot of teams have former Knicks. True, a lot of teams have former Knicks, but none of them as high profile as Melo, you know. But I'm going to head off for the night, my people, my friends. I want you guys to definitely enjoy the rest of your weekend. You know, 1 more day left for the rest of your weekend, and then you got to gear up for the week. You know, I got to go, got another game tomorrow, which we play against a very good team of Division I and Division II prospects that we'll be looking to go into college this year or next year, so that's going to be a challenge for us. But you know, we're gonna go out there and compete and do well. You know, I'm working with a group of freshmen and sophomore. You know, so a lot of games we play, we try to get into a 10th grade bracket. Sometimes they don't have a 10th grade bracket, so we end up playing in 11th, 12th bracket, and we got to compete. But I give it up to my girls, man. They come out and they compete every single game, and they go hard, and they put a scare into some of these older teams. So, you know, I'm proud of them for that. We did that today. We put a scare in a couple of these older teams, and, you know, there wasn't, you know, we looked like we was going to win. You know, we didn't quite have the offense to sustain it throughout the whole game, but we did very well. So tomorrow we play against a very, very, very good team. Yeah, that's what we did, man. We pressed the whole game, tried to take them out of their half-court sets. We trapped them up and down the floor. But, you know, when you're a little bit older, they have a little bit better basketball IQ. Now, we don't play bully ball. We don't have the size to play bully ball. You know, like today, you know, we didn't have the size to play bully ball at all, so we had to pressure the guards to keep the ball from getting inside. That's basically what we do. We pressure the guards up and down the floor, so they turn the ball over, stop them from, because we're small. Our tallest player, now this is girls, right? So our tallest player is 5'10". Now, when you're talking girls, a really tall girl at the level that we're playing at is about 6'2", 6'3", right? So we pressure the guards relentlessly. So our girls are in phenomenal shape. You know, I mean, because I run them to death because we have to pressure them so much. So we pressure up and down the floor, keep the ball, try to make it hard for the guards to get the ball into the post. If they try to go into the post, we and then we utilize our bigs are smaller, so we utilize our bigs to go off the dribble. So we put a lot of pressure on teams by attacking the basket. Because we're smaller, so we attack the basket. We got smaller guards. We have our guards attack the basket. We pressure their guards. So that's the way that we play. It's an up-tempo game, up and down the floor, because we have to play that way. But we're a gritty team, very gritty. So it's fun being out there, for sure. But I'm going to let you guys roll and have a great weekend. The Knicks play again. Let's see. When the Knicks play? We play again. We are back on Monday. All right. Back on Monday. The game we play at MSG at 7:30. The game is on NBA TV. All right. So I'm out. I want you guys to have a peaceful weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. And we'll talk when we get back. Peace, y'all. Have a good one. If you enjoyed this stream, please subscribe below, ring the bell, get a notification anytime that I go live. Continue to follow us as we update you on the New York Knicks as we move into the draft and move into the offseason. We're going to follow the playoffs. We even talk some New York Giants, Jets, talk some football. Have a good one. Peace.